In one fell swoop, India halted cross-border trade with Pakistan amounting to rupees 3,886 crores. Even as Indians await a response for the Pahalgam terror attack, it seems India has placed a very long rope around its enemy's neck instead of using electric chair for execution. Or so says Amrullah Saleh, the ousted Afghan leader. On 3rd May, India took 3 bold steps against Pakistan in a single day. In fact, the government imposed a complete ban on all imports from Pakistan, suspended all postal services to and from the country, and prohibited Pakistani ships from docking at Indian ports. Today, we are going to tell you about all the steps the Modi government has taken as part of the major crackdown against Pakistan after the Pahalgam terror attack. In order to address all possible loopholes and stop the inflow of Pakistani goods through any means, the government has enacted an immediate ban on imports and transit of all products originating from or exported from Pakistan. According to official data, India primarily exported items such as soya bean, poultry feed, vegetables, red chilies, plastic granules and plastic yarn, while importing dry fruits, dates, cements, glass, rock salt and herbs from Pakistan. Entry of Pakistani ships at Indian ports has been completely banned, while also barring Indian ships from going to any Pakistani ports. Historically, maritime trade between India and Pakistan has largely been symbolic. In fact, both nations have a maritime border in the Arabian Sea, but a strained bilateral relation has kept commercial ships movement largely restricted. The government on 3rd May also halted the exchange of mails and parcels with Pakistan through both air and land routes. However, practically the postal services between the two nations have remained suspended for the last 5 years after Islamabad had unilaterally stopped accepting postal bags from India via land and air route, and in fact this happened post the abrogation of Article 370 from Jammu and Kashmir. The Indian government had earlier banned 16 Pakistani YouTube channels, including some of the leading news channels, for spreading false and misleading narratives against India. Apart from YouTube channels, Instagram accounts of several Pakistani celebrities, including actors like Fawad Khan, singers Atif Aslam, Hania Amir and Mahira Khan, have also been suspended. Apart from the film personalities, YouTube accounts of former Pakistani cricketer Shoaib Akhtar and Basit Ali has also been blocked. Perhaps the most important and immediate step taken by the government of India after the Pahalgam carnage is the suspension of the Indus Water Treaty, a treaty which survived 4 wars, decades of cross-border terrorism against India by Pakistan. In fact, the Indian government has clearly said that this suspension will remain in effect until Pakistan ceases its support for cross-border terrorism. Remember, the Indus Water Treaty was signed in Karachi on September 19, 1996. In fact, it was done following years of negotiation between India and Pakistan. In fact, in particular, after 9 years of negotiation between India and Pakistan. We all remember the Athari-Wagha border for the splendid military ceremonies. Well, the only road border crossing between India and Pakistan has been completely shut from the 1st of May. In fact, this happened following a week of significant cross-border movement, prompted the Indian government direct all Pakistani citizens on short-term visas to exit India. Following a meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security, which was held a day after the Pahalgam terror attack, the government also announced that the Pakistani nationals will no longer be allowed to travel to India under the SAARC visa scheme. In fact, this exemption scheme was introduced in 1992, granting visa-free travel to certain categories of dignitaries within this very region. The list includes 24 categories of entitled persons, which include senior officials, judges of higher courts, parliamentarians, and also businessmen, journalists, and sports personalities. armed forces have also blown up at least 9 houses belonging to the families of those wanted for terrorism in the valley. The demolition started with the house of Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorist Adil Ahmed Tokar, who was believed to be involved in the Pahalgam attack. Houses of other suspects were also destroyed in the areas like Pulwama, Bandipora and also in the Kupwara district.